to get this stream up. But yeah, it was funny. Talk about perfect fucking cutoff point when I talk about Benedict Arnold. Oh, we're live.
And come on. Really? Oh boy.
Talk about the gift that keeps on giving, right? 2020.
And right on cue with Benedict.
Well, I mean, truthfully, I mean, I've got to admit, if our founding fathers ever got something wrong, they got it wrong with Benedict Arnold. He should have been publicly executed in front of the Capitol building, not exiled. That would have set the precedent for treason, sedition. Yeah, it was. What is it, Lucas? That would have set the precedents. Oh boy, it's gonna be a long night.
For
And
me,
I haven't gotten even to the moonshine yet.
oh God. Um
I did get into the captain though. That might have been a mistake. Well, I meant. Well, no. Here's what I did. I told you about the COVID killer, right? Kind of one of my favorite drinks. It's blackberry brandy, black velvet, and just a little bit of Red Bull. Well, I one upped it. I went a lot of blackberry brandy, very little black velvet, very little Red Bull, and quite a little bit of about an even match of blackberry to Captain Morgan, which is 100 proof. And well, you've seen the glass when I started; it was full.
Yep.
And like I said, I still got peach moonshine down there, apple moonshine downstairs.
Oh boy.
I got a podcast. I'm supposed to be doing a podcast with Surf Point 9 at 10 o'clock. I'm on a roll. I just got to make it to 10 o'clock.
Well, on that one, folks, I have to bow out. I have to go get some food. And I have places I have to be in the morning. And the broadcast that I was supposed to be on earlier, apparently they either ran into technical difficulties or something, but who knows?
It does happen a lot in the YouTube universe.
A channel with nearly 900,000, it generally doesn't happen. But
well, yeah,
I'm
not trying to be that big, so let's not be spreading the word. I enjoy my I think I'm stuck around between 80 and 78 followers here on YouTube.
I remember,
and I'm happy with that. I'm not trying to grow because, the more you grow, the more eyes are on you, and the more eyes that are on me, the less I can actually talk without repercussions.
Well, even me and I'm near 300. I'm still a small guppy in the sea, but I don't mind that too much. It has its perks, and I think people forget that sometimes. But there's a lot of things that could be said looking back through the annals of time and deciding what to do or how to do it. There's positives, there's negatives, but I think the biggest lesson with 2020, and I've said this many times, is that the moment we lose perspective, and we lost Lucas.
Yep.
The moment we lose perspective and we lose that perception of target of where we want to go and what we want to do with life, things begin to lose its real meaning, I think, in a lot of ways. And at some point, people forget all too well the consequences that has. And if you give up that focus and that drive to maintain your course, sometimes you have to alter that course and your trajectory in order to continue to hit that bullseye each and every time. As we've seen through the annals of time and history, those who are most successful have had to adjust their data from previous engagements and activities and be able to apply that to today, because if they don't, they're doomed. And they're doomed to repeat maybe not just the mistakes from their past, but they're also doomed to make the same mistakes of the names of those who have gone before. So, and those names are found on the tombstones of others. And I ain't looking to go there just yet. I've got a lot of things on the docket in 21, and a lot of things that people really have to pay attention to. Maybe not necessarily their data from previous years, but maybe look at the history from those around them and their ancestry, and adjust that so that they're able to somehow find that inner drive, as that young man that was on earlier, Lucas, it's a breath of fresh air. That it isn't just us 40 somethings that have the knowledge of what is going on, that there are others that know what is going on too. And
one thing I think has been a blessing about 2020. It's opened so many people's eyes. And it really has. It goes back to that fucking old fucking saying that, through every great fucking tragedy, there's an awakening. Through every fucking great fucking disaster like 9/11, there's a uniting. And we're starting to see this. We've seen our Congress for the true colors that they are this year. We've seen our politicians for what they are. We've seen people for what they are. We've seen people. I mean, I live in the state of Ohio. I've seen Pioneer, it's where I work, it's where I went to school. I've seen the community, the township, or whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, the village of Pioneer, basically say fuck DeWine. We're not going to adhere to his fucking bullshit fucking curfews. We're not going to make people wear masks. We're not going to shut our stores down at 10 o'clock. And as you pointed out earlier in the podcast, all these sheriffs that are stepping up. You know, I've seen a lot of that this year. That's why, to me, this year has probably been one of the best years ever for Americans. Yes, we're facing a pandemic, but it's no different than the flu pandemic. The flu's killed millions of people. That's no different than any other part of the SARS, because that's what COVID-19 is. From all the way to early 90s when was you know made its ugly appearance.
Actually, I'm going to correct you.
80s.
No,
Oh,
1965.
yeah, that's right. I remember. Yeah, now that you mentioned, I remember it. You've corrected me on that before. Like I said, it's been a while since I've done podcasts, so I'm a little out of my game.
But in all seriousness, um, you
Oh, can
know,
I get one more thing in
sure.
before I've been drinking, so subject to forget. The biggest slap in the face was for all these people that laughed at all of us fucking survivalist preppers, whatever we want to call ourselves, for being overly prepared. You're the ones that proved us right. While you were fucking emptying the shelves of fucking toilet paper and paper towels, we were sitting back laughing at you. Thank you for the best comic relief of the year, because you were literally wiping off the shelves of fucking toilet paper that we didn't even worry about. You were wiping the shelves off food that we weren't worried about. Okay, now leave the coffee alone, please. That got a little bit ridiculous, but that's beside the point. Apparently, I need to stock up on more coffee because that kind of caught me for a loop. And the CBDs, I wasn't prepared for that. But you know, you proved our point. You proved the old fucking saying right, that if you live your life in fear, you're going to become not the crowd, but the mob. You mobbed these shows. You acted like the fucking end of the fucking world was happening right then and there. You actually put more strain on our economy than anybody else ever has, because your fear and paranoia, because you thought all these people that were talking about being prepared for things were fucking lunatics, fucking. I mean, yes, exactly. You got to laugh at it. I mean, 2020 was the best. Oh my god, this year was fucking amazing for me anyway. I can't speak for other people, and I've had loss, so I'm not demeaning the fact that COVID does kill, because it does. But so does the flu. So does walking across the street and getting the mail. So does getting in the car, going to the fucking drive, and getting hit by a drunk driver. I can't live my life in fear. The one thing the esoterics teach you: conquer your fears. Fear should not be able to rule you. Why? Because if you have fear, guess what? I can manipulate you, control you. You become my little fucking puppet. I know your weakness. I know how to control you. I know how to make you do things. This is how you look at your elites, how you look at these people that try to govern you and tell you, you can't have these freedoms, you can't do this. Why can't I? Can you actually stop me? I just happen to live in a county that doesn't believe you. I'm not going to live my life in fear. I'm not going to trick my mind into thinking, oh my God, I'm susceptible to this, and get sick because I think I have a low immune system when I have a very high immune system. No, you're not getting that control. That's my control. My mind knows how good my immune system is. My body knows how good my immune system is. I know how much pain I can take before I actually need medication. I know when I need to go to the hospital, and I know what I can sit back and fight unsweat out. I also know that COVID is not one of them, but I also know, hey, I think Lucas would testify to this. Many of us already had it back in December of last year.
Yep, I remember that.
And
You
guess
were
what?
you were sick as a dog.
Don't try sweating that fucker out. It will fucking kick your fucking ass.
It knocked you in the dirt.
But I tell you what, getting 2 days of rest, sleep, not doing anything, boy, made the world of difference. I'm not the type of person, I don't care how sick I am, I'm going to work. I gotta fucking make money. I gotta be able to put food on the table, pay my bills. Yep, I'm the old school mentality. If I ain't on a hospital bed, which good luck getting me there, so I better be dying, because that's the only way you're getting me there. I'm working. Oh no, biggest mistake I've ever made. And yeah, I paid for it for a couple, almost a month.
You were down.
But once I figured it out, hey, my mind took over, my body took over, and it healed itself. Now, will work for somebody that's got a low immune system or susceptible? No, no. Go see a doctor. You will need some treatment of some sort because your body can't do that.
Yeah,
See,
the
there's a
medical
perfect place
disclaimer
for
here,
yeah.
folks. We are not doctors, and we do not play a doctor on YouTube. So, um, if you have a medical situation that is out of your control, please consult your medical professionals. Do not seek a YouTuber out. Please consult licensed medical professional. Uh,
Right.
thank you
It
very
goes
much.
back to my old saying: "Know thyself."
I had to put that disclaimer in so that
Oh fuck yeah!
yeah, so that the overlords didn't vaporize us into the next cataclysm.
Oh, if they don't, I'll be shocked. But then again, I'll be just survive yet again to fucking piss them off even more.
But it's in all reality, um, people don't the the most inspirational conversations that I've had since March. And, I've always been the type that if I go shopping and I tend to go weekly, sometimes bi weekly, if I've used 3 or 4 cans of like raviolis, let's just say raviolis, and 4 bags of coffee in that 1 to 2 week span, then
Damn, you coffee fiend?
then when I go to the store on that next trip, instead of replacing just those 4 cans of raviolis and that coffee that I used, instead of grabbing 4 bags of coffee at the Dollar Tree, I'll grab 6 bags of coffee, or 8, and 8 cans of ravioli, so that I have a little bit extra in cases where one day you go to the store on a shopping day and the store's been closed for sanitation reasons. Oh my God, we're in a coffee apocalypse. What the fuck are we gonna do?
Goddamn
Um,
coffee apocalypse.
and you know that sort of scenario. So it a lot of people, I think, they've become so brand snobbish, that they will only buy one brand of fucking coffee. They'll only buy one brand of ass wipe. You know, ass wipe, it's only got to do one fucking job, you know. Yeah, the nice soft. I'll admit, I rather prefer Cottonelle, but at the end of the day, if all that's on the shelf is Angel Soft, well, Angel Soft or Black and White Label or using leaves, you know, that's a pretty tough choice to make there, you know. You really have to, again, it goes back to that. If you use a half a pack, then you really need to, over a period of time, then you need to be prepared to put that out on your shopping list at prescribed points, or if you happen to see it on sale.
You know, you know, you know, everybody needs TP for their bunghole. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist, but I couldn't resist the fact that here was the other funny thing. You know what everybody overlooked, which probably thankful to all the mothers out there that just had kids? Baby wipes.
Actually, wrong.
In my area, they overlooked them. There was plenty of baby wipes to be found.
Not out here. There wasn't a single pack of baby wipes, because I actually carry baby wipes not only in my bug out bag, but I carry them in the vehicle, and I keep a fair stock on them. And that's another one of those items. If you use a pack, as soon as you open that pack, the next time you go shopping, pick up another fucking pack. It's not that difficult. You know, there was a 9-week period that my local store didn't have a single pack and could not get them. And there was actually a run on diapers of every frickin' size and configuration that you can think of. There was even a run on, and it's the first time I've ever seen an actual run on cloth diapers. And at the start of this, I predicted way back at the beginning, back when we did a live stream, it was right around last year. It was right shortly after you got healthy enough that you could talk and breathe. We did a show, and there was already chatter about a lockdown coming. We did a podcast over on mine, and it was about a 3-hour show. And I had predicted at that point that we would see a baby boom. And what the hell did we see?
Well, of course.
What happened? What happens when you lock people down and they can't go to work? They can't go to college. They can't do their normal routine because everything's been shut down. What the hell do you think is going to be going on?
Yep, I remember that podcast because I remembered my quote exactly. Thank God I'm fucking single. I'm not gonna have to worry about that. For once, being single pays off.
There was a whole lot of fucking going on, and
I'm not gonna fucking lie. I mean, God, I mean honestly, because I mean, let's not to
but
switch
but
topics, but try dating on 2020. It's not very good
but
thing.
here's the interesting thing. Some of the deepest, most in-depth, eye-opening conversations that I had with people was in really it was in two areas of Hellmart. It was at near the baby section and the liquor section. But there was one other area of the store that I had more in-depth um, conversations with people, and that was in the camping and sporting goods area. That people, and it wasn't always Walmart. Sometimes it was Cabela's. That people were they got switched on, and they were like almost like picking your brain for knowledge. What, oh my god, what we have X amount of dollars, what do we invest in, kind of conversation. And I was like, you know, you need a minimum X amount of food per person, consisting of a specific amount of calories per person per day and a specific set of water per person per day. Um, and then medical, um, to address really any particular medical situation, and training for any particular medical situation that might arise. Because trusting on the hospital situation may not be available. And that actually did come to fruition, that um, going to the hospital could actually seal your fate. Um, and a lot of people have come back to me later and was like, man, you were right on track with everything, spot on. And short of the grid going down and water ceasing to flow, this really, it opened a lot of people's minds and eyes up to, okay, we need X number of this, that, and the other thing. But above all, if you're going to have these things, these tools, you're going to need training. Um, if you're preparing to bring a kid into the world and you're really worried about the hospitals, then maybe you should be looking at trying to find a midwife in your locality, or looking for uh, paramedics and things of that nature, who probably do know midwives and can help make that connection. You're beginning to see these little tribes begin to happen. You're seeing things begin to happen. And even though there is some division, um, are you an AK person or are you an AR person? There's still a little bit of that kind of rub and rivalry. But that's for the most part been set aside, and people are wanting to get back to let's build community. You know, when I went to church last week on the 20th, there was actual hugging. There was actual hugging in my church. Handshakes. You know, the way the things used to be. And I haven't seen that in a long time. And what a lot of people don't understand, I mean, yeah, it's a smaller church, but it's that old school way of doing things. That old school way of let's do community. State is not going to dictate how we're doing Christmas this year. And we're talking Iowa, yo. You know, Iowa, we have a very different way of things. And yeah, I bounce between Iowa and Wisconsin. I make no secret about that. But the thing is that people have got to, at some point, find their line. Welcome back. Find their line in the sand, and know that.
I'll be back. I forgot to grab cigarettes.
Oops. You know that it's okay to give somebody a handshake, give somebody a hug. If you know the people, you know, but we need to get back to that trust factor and get back to where we once were. But there's a line and a moment of, would you do that to a complete stranger? You know, it makes one question. Good God, you made that quick.
Well, yeah, because standing is not a very good thing right now. So.
Oh, fall down, go boom.
No, thankfully. No, that'd be a bad thing. I live upstairs. No.
But, you know, the whole seeing people hugging and handshaking in a church is something I had not seen or experienced in 10 months. And the power within that was out of this world. And why we can't get back to that, you know, only time will tell. But now I have to make my bow out. I do need food, and I have a bunch of stuff I still have to get done tonight before I have to make a trip back to Iowa tomorrow. So, what you gonna be up to tomorrow night, Drew?
After a night, probably recovering from a massive hangover.
Yeah, you'll be suffering from this one for 2 days.
Especially considering I just thought of a topic that I want to talk about. You're probably cutting out at the right time.
Oh dear. Oh, yep. I'm going to exit.
But before you go, I definitely want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
you know what's going to suck is we're not going to get to do our New Year's show this year.
Oh, I don't know. Uh, It's going to depend. Uh, if I can recover fast enough, or if I can suffer through the pain, or get enough alcohol maybe that I don't notice the pain. And plus, I'll have a healing denture, whatever the fuck that. So I'll be able to talk, hopefully.
Oh, the stories that I could share um with that one.
But my appointment's on fucking Tuesday, so they're pulling all 8. The main ones that's gonna fuck me up is the front ones. But that's what the healing dentures are for. So we'll see. But you know, hey, drinking alcohol, you're kind of 10 foot tall and bulletproof sometimes. I think I might be able to pull off a fucking New Year's stream.
Oh, we'll have to
Well,
see.
I mean, Lord, heaven forbid. I just noticed I had a fucking half a bottle of Crown still sitting downstairs that I forgot about. So I've got plenty of alcohol. I don't know if I can drink it. We'll be able to drink it next week, but yeah,
it,
but hey, it's medicinal,
it
right?
it it'll have to. We'll see because I'm not sure yet. It's going to depend on the schedule of somebody else. Yet, I it's possible. Not sure yet. Waiting to see if one other person is, and I won't know until probably midday that day.
Yeah, you're as bad as I am.
No, that's how fluid the situation is. Is I won't know until probably 4:30, 5 o'clock that day. What's going down?
I don't know if I'm doing a live podcast today, tomorrow. It's just whenever I feel like doing it. I mean, that's actually how it's always been. If I feel like doing it, I do it. I mean, I've tried to keep up with some traditions here. I tried to do Memorial Day, 4th of July, which I failed at miserably this year. Thanksgiving, I managed to do.
Yeah.
Um, Christmas Eve, I'm doing. Hey, I'm actually doing a marathon this year. I'm kind of catching up for missing the 4th of July. Or no, wait, I missed Memorial Day. I got the 4th of July.
But we'll get back on track here eventually once we get back to doing life. You know,
Oh, you get me out of enjoying being just sitting back in the shadows and being MIA.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, honestly, I've been in the mood to do podcasts for a while. I've just been finding excuses to keep me away because I've been like I said, I've enjoyed 2020 for me, my personal well-being.
Lucas is getting ready to bounce. So,
Yep, which actually might probably I'm probably going to ramble on for the remaining of the time, but which is probably a good place to segment to leave off. And yes, Lucas, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I will see you on the 4th when we go back to work. And yes, we are definitely going to do this again later at night when I know everybody in your household will be asleep. Because I want my audience to get to know you more
right.
because of your age, what you see and stuff. That's important. That I mean, and I know I think I've told you. Sure, I've told you. That's why I have a lot of respect for you is because of your age and the fact that you see the world for what it is, and that's remarkable in this time of age. We need more people like you. To me, you are as our future, and is what this channel is about. Sons and Daughters of Liberty. You are our future, and it's time that people see people of your age stepping up, talking about whatever it may be. I mean, there's a lot. Next year's a new year. We're definitely gonna do things together. The cross card idea I still want to do, but I got a few other things I got to do before then, like get back out of debt. But hey, it's been a good year. Got a Suburban sitting in the driveway. I need a new vehicle. I broke down. Fuck it. I'm getting debt. Get me this Suburban and hopefully pay it off next year so I'm not that far in debt anymore.
Right. But
But it's, something I needed to do. I needed to get my credit back up. I used to have AAA credit, but hey, things you learn along the way how corrupt our system really is. You know, how all that shit doesn't stay on record. They want you to stay in debt. You know, we've talked about that before.
yep.
You know, what's coming up? Yeah, I got a controversial topic that I know Bree's definitely going to want to get away from.
Yeah. But I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. If I don't manage to get one out before the new year, and I'm quite sure I will get one out. Yeah, I just got an email on toilet paper. Interesting. But till we meet again, y'all, you know the drill. Take care of yourself. Take care of your neighbor. Take care of the crotchety old drunk down at the corner, because you never know when your life just might depend on that person to save your ass.
And Bree, before you bail, if you get a chance, you're definitely going to want to check out me on Sword Point Nine's topics because I'm going to get into some stuff like some of the pardons that were given.
Now send me a link.
Because I'm sure you have something to say about. I've avoided it because I want to save it for that episode, but I'm sure you got something to say about the Blackwater individuals that were pardoned.
I can't
Yeah,
really.
no, I know you can't, but I'm gonna go there
I
eventually.
I can't. Um,
And I figure why not? Better to do it with a contractor. If,
I that's one area I can't. Um,
oh no.
I'd end up in more hot water than I can tread. Um, there's too much in that I cannot due to the oath of office that I took. I
Right. You always know I respect that. So
I cannot. Um, Obviously, somebody who has a whole lot more zeros in their paycheck um, has a higher level of insight and mindset than I do, and a whole lot more influence than I do to make that distinction. So I have to. Um,
respectfully bow out
I
of that
I
one.
I can't um, comment on that because for many reasons, but the biggest one is conflict of interest. I cannot speak to that. Um, you know, that's above my pay grade. Um, I
But yeah, let's just leave it at that. But for those that don't know where I'm talking about, do your research before 10 o'clock's show because I have my own opinions on this. I've always had, and I've got obviously Bree, Sword Point Nine, and various other contractors that I've affiliated with and talked with. No, it was a topic of importance, and I was personally glad to see the pardons issued because I've heard sides of the story from people.
well,
Other people disagree, and they have that right.
here I'm gonna put it like this, and then I have to bounce. Um, you know, when you're deployed as a in that capacity, you're held to the same conduct
Sure.
as a uh, conventional military personnel. If you commit a crime in another country, you could be charged not only in that country, but then you can also be charged in this
As,
country.
or as a war criminal in a
Yep.
tribunal,
And,
overseas tribunal.
yes. And so in that um vein, it is your responsibility, and it is your number one responsibility to always conduct yourself to the highest level of standard. Period. End of story. And if you're given an order that deviates out of that, um, you have some serious ethical choices to make, um, and be willing to stand on that sword. And my experience of standing on that risk reward, I will stand on the side of efficacy and the morals of the conduct uh, of officer uh, of the military always. And if somebody steps out of line, they're done. Period. End of story. I make no apologies about it, um, and I'm very unapologetic about it. It's not a very popular decision. However, that is the only ethical, moral, and legitimate standpoint that one can make, because you are, in fact, doing the job of a soldier. Therefore, you should be held to the same decorum and discretion of that of a soldier. I think I've covered that all in and of itself in that short statement. Have I
Yes,
not?
you did. Yes, you did.
And anything outside of that, you're burnt up.
Oh yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I agree. Like I said, I agreed with they should have been pardoned for what took place and the circumstances of it. Do I agree with everything that Blackwater did? Absolutely not.
And I cannot speak on the record about that.
Well, like I said, it's me. You know me. I love topics, especially those type that I shy away from time to time. But tonight's I'm in the season of giving. I want to give,
Well,
and like I said, you definitely want to bounce before I get to the next topic
all
because
righty. Well, I'm going to
I'm
exit.
gonna bash commercials and a few other things that you might not want to be associated with.
All righty. I will be kicking back listening, but
Oh, you're gonna love this.
I have to get into like the food thing and all that. You have a Merry Christmas. Y'all have a Merry Christmas out there. Um, till we meet again, y'all. Take care of yourself. God bless. I'm gonna be bouncing on this one. Y'all take care. Later, Gators.
All right, was it 10 minutes I got left before the stream cuts out? Let's have some fun, shall we? Okay, I know it's not Ramblings of the Chaotic Mind, but we're going to introduce Ramblings of the Chaotic Mind for about 10 minutes. I'm sure we've all seen commercials. My favorite commercials here of late is all this interracial bullshit. You got to have a white person and a black person. It goes back to diversity. What do I talk about diversity? Well, what's the key derivative of diversity? Is div, which is to divide. You know, now I see these commercials being thrown all in our face. Every commercial has to be politically correct. It has to be a mixed race couple. You know, it just goes to the term diversity, to divide, division. You know, I'm not against interracial marriage. I'm a product of interracial marriage. Mom's Brazilian, my dad's American. Nothing against it. I do have something against it when it's being used as political agenda, when it's being used as propaganda, when it's in your face 24/7 because they want to push a narrative, a status quo. I got friends of all races, all colors, from different countries, all over the world. And I love them to death. They're my friends, they're my family. And there's nothing political about that. We're friends because we have things in common. We're attracted to each other for some odd reason, cosmic fucking coincidence. But yet we find things in common. We find things to talk about. We share interests. There's no political agenda. It is just the law of attraction. We're drawn to each other for some odd fucking cosmic reason. When we start pitting race against each other, which we've been particularly famous for this year, and putting a movement called Black Lives Matter in full aspect of things, triggered this movement. Okay, let's make all these commercials interracial, mixed couples. It's propaganda, guys. And I want to point this out because I want you to see the truth for what it is. It's not only propaganda, it's also political leverage to make you more sensitized to, oh, we can't build this wall, but any other country can defend its border, stop people from coming across. But because, as Lucas goes, will point out from time to time, Orange Man bad. I completely, different generation, I know. Yeah, I'm hip, but I wasn't that hip. It's the Orange Man bad narrative. Okay, if he's going to do this, we need to counter it. We need to counter propaganda. You know, we talked about a little bit, skimmed it about socialism or the Nazis, the neo-Nazi party. The neo-Nazi Socialist Party is what it was called. And I want to look back in history. What did all of our great nations do? They went after the scientists, the minds, the military leaders, and stuff, and brought them into each country. So now we see the propaganda that Hitler used. We're seeing it used to this day on every one of us. Some talk about the Third Reich, Fourth Reich. It's alive and well and flourishing in our own country. We talk about socialist Congress members, the Socialist Democratic Party or the Socialist Republic Party. This is the type of propaganda we see. Propaganda, thanks to Obama, is perfectly legal in media now. And they're using it to influence people. Let's defund the police. Well, we've elected a president that wants to defund the police. Openly said it. Well, let's look at communities that tried to do that. Let's get rid of the police. And they were, within a month, begging for the police to do their jobs, to protect and serve. Wow, yeah, that's what happens when you remove law. Law and allow lawlessness to prevail. The staggering fact is crime happens. It doesn't matter what your skin color is, it's going to happen. Why? Because, I heard Ocasio Cortez or whatever, Her name is Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, socialist, which really is funny considering Cuba's communist. Goes against socialism, but yet she represents the Socialist Party, which was, as we know, true socialism is most ugliest origins was neo-Nazi, the Nazi Socialist Party. Fucking, you gotta love history, right? And that's what they want to turn the state into. I've lived in a socialist country. Trust me, you don't want to live there. Trust me on that. But yet we allow these politicians to claim socialism, Marxism. We vote them in, which, we technically, people have that right. That's the beauty of how our country was founded, You can be whatever and be that, but these policies don't work. It's great ideas in some points, but it gets overshadowed by the greed. Hence why my earlier comments have been our Congress has become no better than the Senate of Rome. And actually, they become worse. They use this propaganda to try to say unity, but it's not unity. It is core division, is concept. They want to divide us. They want to make us think that, well, Black Lives Matter above all others. No, that's racism. When you put another race above every other one, that's the whole concept of racism. All lives matter, no matter what you are. Especially here in America, we're all supposed to be brothers and sisters. That's what should matter, not the color of your skin. But yet they use racism to divide, to spread hatred, fear. And yet they use it through our media. Just like they're using these nurses, our so-called nurses. I'm still open to investigation on that one because I want to know, are these real nurses or are these paid actors? And I think we all want the truth on that one because it's propaganda. And it's up to us, everybody, to do our due diligence to research. They want to pass a bill in Congress. They want to say it's relief. Well, we just seen that they're trying to give $60 million to Afghanistan for transgender educational. That's not going to fly. That's like spitting in their face. And not a 30 million somewhere else, but who cares, right? It's for the Americans. Well, no, it's not. If you're giving it to another country, it's not for Americans. It's propaganda. Because it's recent over 800. The last I heard, it was 596. But everything's up to interpretation and what you read. And if you want to know the truth, go to government.org and look for yourself. Pull up the bill. Read it. How many pages is it actually? But read it, because in the end, it's your due diligence to know the laws. It's your due diligence to know what laws they're passing because you're responsible. Their ignorance is bliss in a court of law. It's your responsibility as a U.S. citizen to know the laws, just like it is our state representatives to know what they're passing before they pass it, which makes them all guilty that voted yes. And consequences need to be adhered to. We've come to a day and age where it's time that these politicians know they're no longer above the law. They're not going to be reelected into office. They're not going to ever hold an office of trust because once they violate that office of trust, they're not supposed to hold an office of trust. Law is very clear on that. There's many investigations that need to take part. Some of it in this election. Some of it, hey, we need to investigate. Well, if he said that, how rigged was the election? When is enough enough? I said this to you time and time. Where do you draw that proverbial line? When's enough's enough? Are you going to keep living your life in fear? Are you going to take a vaccine that's not been clinically trialed for real, where all the investors are billionaires, millionaires that's going to make money off that vaccine? Do we know it's a real vaccine? What do we know? Is it or is it just propaganda? Where do we draw the line between propaganda and reality? Where do we draw the line of, hey, I showed you this article 2 months ago that was posted by Mr. Anderson. Pah, no, that's bullshit. That's fake. Oh, but CNN told you just this last week that it's real because Europe